Oh.
From dinner.
I was like, because I also went to the animal, so I was imagining like feathers.
Like
I was
a whole chicken, like I just ate a chicken wholesale in the backyard.
Okay, I am loving this. And I'm actually loving our knowledge, like that we half know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
It's making me want to go back and watch more. Like this, I want to see Mayhem.
Yeah, me
now, because I thought she was a lot of fun.
She was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. She's the one with the eyes, right? The like.
She's certainly got two of them.
The reaction gif of like the.
I mean, I don't know what one you're talking about, so.
You would if you saw it.
I probably, yeah.
But no,
there's so many drag queen memes. Like, you know the one with the eyes that poses? Like, yeah, that's all of them.
But no, I'm absolutely loving this. So, okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
I'm Kristen.
And this is why I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race episode or season All Stars 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start with this one. Our girl went home.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed.
I am too. I knew, so I accidentally saw a like spoiler thing, and so I thought she went home next week, but I knew it was coming.
Okay. Especially at this point, I'm ready to find out what this game within the game is, because it's got to come to something at some point, or else what?
And I wouldn't put it past Ru for I feel like we'll be on episode 11 by the time it like actually pays off in some way, and they're just all gonna have to lip sync for their life and on the same stage. I don't know. You know, I understand why Scarlet went home.
I don't.
You don't?
Well, because this was just a Ginger decision.
I think a lot of them.
It was pretty split between Jan and Scarlet. 0 votes for Kylie, which was amazing.
I didn't even think about that. So, well, that's actually where I was going to start. So I had trimmed our episode because I couldn't remember, but we did not see who Jan picked last week. And we open up with that. And I don't understand. I don't know what is going on. Jan is too much. She's trying too hard. When I was trying to pitch it to Rachel, I was like trying to explain who everybody was, and I was like, Jan is like Rachel Berry.
100%.
Like big Rachel Berry energy.
Yeah.
And
like theater camp kid that like can't figure out how to like make everybody like them and is instead making everyone hate them.
And it's like the more she tries, the further away she gets from it. And I mean, I like Jan. I have no reason to believe that any of these people are A, not good people, right? Or B, not worthy or deserving or untalented. She's incredibly talented, but there's just something, I don't know. Were you gonna? Well,
that's the thing that I start feeling bad for Jan, because I don't believe she's really putting on an act. I believe it's real. And so when she got so mad in the confessional about, or like sad and crying, where it was like, I'm just such a cheerleader in real life that like, for them to tell me that this is a fake personality is devastating. I get that.
Well, because I literally, while she was saying that, I was like, oh, it's not. No, it's too real. It's the issue. That's the issue.
Way too real.
So yeah, she really, really I don't even know where she got to voting for Akira. Like why?
So
at that point, go ahead.
It was because Akira had been in the bottom twice, and Yara had a win.
Sure.
But also, like, Yara kind of sucked. So, like,
you said it, not me.
Akira is amazing.
You said it, not me. Yara was weird. Yara was on a different level. So we had, just shouting out, the guest judge was favorite, Aisha Tyler.
Love
and she
Aisha
was in this like great purple, like flowy, blousey, like scrunchy thing. Yeah. I don't know. I loved it. So the maxi challenge was Pink Table Talk, which is a takeoff on the Red Table Talk that Jada Pinkett does. And apparently it's like the shit. Yeah. They get real about a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting. The 3 topics were motherhood, sex, and body.
That's real uneven.
Real uneven. I understand Scarlett's thought process.
Sure.
But right in the foot. I mean, just shot herself completely in the foot. Because on top of that, I love the instinct to like want to prop up and celebrate this thing. But ultimately, she was bragging about something in a, as Michelle said, mildly contentious topic.
Sure.
And on top of that, it was the least interesting topic.
Sure, where like the whole like Scarlet has two mommies thing, we like know that, and like congratulations that you have a really great home life and everything. But then Raja's over there like, sometimes my mom hates me, and it's just like, like one of these things is not like the other two.
And I mean, Kylie, because frankly, I was surprised Kylie was in the bottom.
Me too.
Because I thought she did great, and I thought she really snatched it with that. Like, you can't let your younger self.
Oh, that was amazing.
Make these decisions.
Yeah.
I'm like a low key Kylie Sonique stan.
I think she's great. I think she's super great. I think as it stands, I'm trying to think of who my favorites are. Definitely Kylie, definitely Akira, and Eureka. I think are tops for me right now. Well, and Ginger. So I guess I've got like 4 that I'm like really rooting for at the moment.
So, and Raja's doing really well.
But that's the thing is like now it's hard for me to pick who I don't like. It's not even that I don't like them. It's just that those are my favorites.
And that's what I said like 2 or 3 episodes ago, where I was like, no one's boffing this. Yeah. It's just sort of who didn't do as good as the others is where we're at. I kind of love Eureka.
I love Eureka.
I knew nothing about, so there's a conversation about gender fluidity and non-binary stuff, and so apparently Eureka is a they. I'm gonna do my best if I flub, you know.
Is it still cool to say she in drag? Right?
Yes. Okay. I'm just going to decree that. Okay, well, we're here. Let's do it. The gender fluid thing, they touched on it on the show, because even Ginger was like, oh, wow, this is very me. And it's like, it's the kind of thing that I absolutely understand and I absolutely support, but I haven't gotten used to it yet. So there's still a slight kind of dancing around sometimes where I'm like, ooh, like I said, it's purely a me thing. I heard someone say that on, it was Pop Culture Happy Hour, I think. Whereas, so like any of my issues, they're not, they're not philosophical.
Yeah. I'm not mad at you, and I don't have any issue with what you're saying. It's difficult for me to get there mentally at the very correct time that I'm talking about the person.
And like I said, I'm just not used to it. And so this is part of, because I as we were watching the episode, I was like, should we talk about this? And ultimately, I think that these conversations are good. Yeah. I think that it's important to you know, talk to chronicle the journey.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but Eureka out of drag is a they them. But I didn't know anything about her in drag. But she's very funny. Because she was really good in her group too.
Oh, really good. Well, they got to talk about sex. I mean, that's the best one, obviously.
The best. And Scarlet. Because remember, she admitted in her season that she's had sex with women.
Oh, I don't think I did remember.
So I don't remember. It's Jacob, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if he said that he was bi or pan or whatever, but they were having a conversation and he was like, I've had sex with a woman before. And I was like, that one is so much better. It's easier to, I mean, unless you're private, it's easier to talk about. It's interesting.
Easier to be funny, and it covers such a wide range of things. It's like for the motherhood one, it's either like I had a good mother or I had a bad mother. It's not really like, and I mean, Raja did well with like talking about her experience with her mother, but it's just also, but then you're right. It was like Scarlet was just bragging about having 2 moms that really, really, really love her.
Well, and she performs. She's very on all the time, and it's not because that frequently annoys me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like a side effect of him being so good looking. I don't know if it's one of those like it affected how his personality grew, but it's like, especially like the whole, he was performing with the like a boy, and it's like, again, I get the instinct or the impulse to do it, But when everyone else, and because frankly, I mean, everyone else was performing as well, but it just...
Well, it does. Also, apparently the kiss of death was RuPaul saying it made her uncomfortable.
Which I got.
Yeah, which again, that's true.
Literally, while we were watching it, Rachel was like, I don't like this.
No, it's not. Because there were moments when Scarlet was like really sincere, and it just threw the moments when she was performing into stark relief. And so that was it was uncomfortable. Yeah.
And ultimately, I think this was really good for her.
100%.
Like I said, that I really don't see, because she's a look queen, and that's why I'm the most devastated, is I want to know what that red thing was.
Yeah, I agree.
I mourn for the next 2 or 3 red carpet runway looks.
Yeah,
but when it comes to the actual, like, she's not very versatile when it comes to the personality stuff. And I mean, I think that's fine. And like I said, I think this really kind of put her back on the map, because she flew under the radar in her,
a little, yeah,
in her season. But back to the sex talk. So Akira, that was fascinating.
Yeah, also cool. I had no idea. Because, in the preview last week, when Akira was saying that, because they previewed Akira saying that she lived life as a trans woman for a while.
Oh, I missed that.
I thought that they were doing characters. I thought she was doing a bit, and I was like, that's insensitive. But the fact that it was true, I was like, oh, okay.
And I mean, I think that's fascinating and interesting to talk about. I hope it resonated. I understood it. I hope that the takeaway wasn't that people regret it, because... No. Yeah. A lot of times with transitioning, they recommend you living a year, an amount of time as the other, as the gender that you're. The terminology is so, you know what I mean. Yeah. I'm terrified. No, because again, to talk about my journey with all of this stuff, that's something that I wondered, is because, like, I remember being a little boy and telling people that when I grew up, I wanted to be a bride. And what that meant was there was a picture in a book with a pretty dress that I responded to.
Sure.
And which
seems a little bit like what Ginger was saying, where Ginger was like, I always was the mother when we were playing house, and I always, like, that's the thing for me. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But Ginger also was like, I had to sit down and think about it, and was like, no, I'm not.
Well, because as you know, we're in the middle of a great awakening, or a great reckoning. We're in the middle of this thing. And I remember being, apprehensive at first, because I was like, I don't know how I would have felt if I was 5 or 6 and I wanted to be Ariel, and if adults would have interpreted that as I was transgender. Because I'm not. Yeah. I've never felt, that was a child that was responding to visual stimuli. It wasn't from an internal place.
Yeah.
And so I think that the more that we talk about the actual psychology, science, physics, all of that, I think it does everybody a service.
Oh, 100%.
So to have Akira sort of be like, this was something I did, and ultimately it wasn't for me, I find fascinating, and I wish there was more of it. And then Trinity was really good too. She was bringing her best Cheryl Underwood, which was fun, because Aisha Tyler was on the panel. Yeah. I was wondering. But and then the Ginger and Pandora. So I really like Pandora. I guess I'm alone in this boat.
No, I like her.
Okay.
I do. I don't think she's going to win.
No.
And so Rachel said she thought she was a little boring. And I don't know that I'd say boring. I just think she's quiet. And I think that's going to be her downfall.
Well, Pandora's made a couple comments about her edit in this, where she's been like, hey, can anyone tell me if I was in the last... in this episode.
Okay.
And she's had the fewest, like, talking heads and stuff.
That's unfortunate.
So I think it might just be a result of
the edit. Okay.
I like her story. We don't see a lot of older gay people. Well, certainly men, and especially how she tapped on the body issues, and that she was like, I was a twink, and now I don't know what I am.
Yeah, I definitely get that. It's definitely something that's not talked about enough. And I also, look, I thought women had hangups about their bodies, but boy howdy, these queens. I don't know how you get through the day. It's like so much that you have to worry about. Wow.
Yeah. I was gonna say also about Pandora. I love her mug and makeup. Yeah. She just has she just looks, because she, especially in the Sally costume.
Yes.
She looked like someone that I cannot place.
Ooh, let us know.
Yeah,
who you
if
think
you
she
know
like
who Pandora looked like in the Sally costume, please let me know. I was like, is it old Hollywood? I was like, is it Brittany Murphy? I was like, because I was like, is it Glinda? Does she look like Glinda to me?
No.
I couldn't, I don't know.
Glinda's got a way more delicate face. Yeah.
But, yeah, and Ginger, I really do like Ginger a lot. And she just has such a personality. She was so good at this that Jan, we already kind of talked about Jan, but it was like two adults having a conversation with a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Jan. I think hanging out with Jan as a person would be super fun. But it's too much for this kind of thing. You have to tone down. You have to and also I didn't love any of her looks tonight. She's doing that thing that I think they clocked her on in her actual season, where she's wearing just a ton of really short, sparkly stuff, but there's not even a lot of thought put into it. Like the blue thing for the patterns, it was nothing.
Oh no, I liked that.
Did you?
For
her pattern, for the runway look, the patterns thing.
This
tonight,
episode?
Yeah.
It was purple.
No. On Pink Table Talk, it was purple. Her runway thing was blue.
Okay.
It was that weird off the shoulder, and Michelle gave her kind of grief.
Yeah. It registered purple to me. Yeah. Well, because Michelle was Michelle was like, what are the chaps?
Yeah.
And once she said knee-high socks, I was like, exactly. Jan's doing this Chromatica thing that it feels much like Chromatica. It's a day short and a day late and $1 short. There you go.
Yeah.
Meaning I loved Chromatica, meaning that it's we did this last year.
But, well, you already know you like Lady Gaga. I'm you don't have to keep telling us.
Over the head.
Tell me you like Lady Gaga without telling me you like Lady Gaga.
We checked back in with Raja, Akira, and Trinity again. They had a little kiki.
Love it.
I love this arc for Raja.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's such a redemption.
Uh-huh. And I love that she seems to have grasped that thing that we often criticize, especially with reality TV, where it's a lot of times when people act out, they choose anger, but it's coming from a place of
fear,
hurt or fear or trauma. Mm-hmm. And I just like that she's been vulnerable. It's wild how much vulnerability makes people like you, and how much people will do anything in their power to not be vulnerable. Yeah. It's a really interesting,
definitely.
But the mother stuff, and I totally get where she's coming from about that, because she was worried she threw her mother under the bus. No,
I mean, I don't think so, because many mothers are that way. Or Raja's mother probably knows that she's that way, but doesn't know how to break out of what's happened. But it also seems like she said multiple times that they're coming to a place of peace with each other now, and so I think that it was
and I mean, as a gay, obviously this is our journey. Obviously this is our truth. Obviously this is our life and our struggle and our joy. Blah blah blah. But we are a facet of our parents.
Oh yeah.
Back when I was watching the first couple seasons of Pretty Little Liars, I thought they did a beautiful job with
Emily coming out.
That her mother was really rattled by it and tried her best to ride through it. There's a scene where she removes herself, goes to the pantry and cries.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want Emily to see.
Right.
And it's I get that. I have empathy for and especially to be Southern Black Christian, that
Mom's
trifecta. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I think that this is doing wonders for the conversation, for the future,
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, especially, I didn't have anything coming out with my mom or anything, but I mean, I had a weird relationship with my mom too. So it's there's a pile of mommy issues right over here.
Rue came out. This is probably my favorite look she's done.
Like pink lemonade.
Pink and yellow.
Ugh.
It looked like frosting.
Yeah.
It looked like, I've talked about, like, there's this thing in my brain sometimes where when something is so pretty, I want to eat it. She looked like sherbet.
Yeah.
She looked like pop art.
Yeah.
I loved it. She's
Very
wearing
good.
this in the promos. And so obviously it's gorgeous, the promos, but there was something about the reality of it that really rocked me. I was like, oh.
It was quite good.
Interesting runway, clash of the patterns. Trinity gagged me.
Which one was?
Kind of the metallic, kind of African, like I thought it was so good.
Really good.
Akira's, I didn't like it at first.
Oh, I loved it. It was very Nina West paper doll.
It was the pattern.
Yeah.
The issue is it was, I saw Crash Test Dummy first. And in season 13, we had like 3 of those looks. We
did, yeah.
And I think it's just that yellow top knot, but I got there. I did really, really appreciate it by the time we were there. The Raja's was good too. Mm-hmm. Also African, a little bit Caribbean.
Yeah. All the different patterns, like in the skirt, were good. Because Eureka did a similar thing with multiple patterns in the skirt and like in like different like darts almost.
Eureka has a ironclad grip on her silhouette, especially
100%.
now after this note.
Oh yeah,
her silhouette, yeah, it's
amazing. Eureka is
which can be
a dark horse.
Which can be a challenge for the heavy queens.
Yeah.
But honestly, a huge love Kylie, big stan, but this look did nothing for me.
It was a little boring. I also am really not a fan of animal print in the first place, so
I just was sort of like, have you not already worn this 3 times? Like, there was just something about it, did nothing for me.
It was very like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera in the year 2000.
Scarlet, gorgeous. I knew you were going to.
Poignant.
I definitely do see how it, because you kind of had to know what it was.
Well, it was
well, you didn't. You loved it.
It was patterny kind of everywhere. No, I loved it.
Ginger, I didn't care for the pattern she used, but it was a solid look. I love the safari butterfly catching shtick. Ginger's great for a shtick. And then again, Pandora, I loved the Sally, the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Really good, yeah.
We had the sex group 1, so Akira, Eureka, and Trinity were the top, but Ginger was the winner.
Yeah.
And then our bottom was Scarlet, Kylie, and Jan. I mean,
if it's me, I sort of like, I'm so hyped that Ginger won 30 grand. That's amazing. I kind of wish that we would have seen how the vote shook out, because
we will next week.
I think it would have been Jan. I think Jan would have gone home.
Tune in next week. We'll see. And
I just like, it's not that I wanted Jan to go home necessarily, but I thought she was way weaker this week.
I would rather have 2 more Scarlet looks than 2 more Jan looks.
Oh, 100%. Like 100%.
So we had a stunt with Bianca Del Rio. Sure.
It worked. It was fine.
Sure.
Love Bianca Del Rio.
I think there's like kind of a thing with I've seen YouTube clickbait videos where it's like there's queens who like vowed never to come back, or there's drama or tension, or maybe just have yet to come back. I don't know. But I've seen Bianca Del Rio in a lot of those thumbnails, so I think that might have been a factor. But as I mentioned, we did have Mayhem Miller. That fucking lip sync.
Hilarious.
Mayhem and Ginger. That is up there.
So good.
Yeah.
By Phone by Lizzo.
Where the hell my phone, huh? How I'm supposed to get? But you're holding it. Oh.
It was so funny. They were both so good. They do the thing that I love, which is they start working in tandem.
Yeah.
And it was, since
it's not like lip syncing to not go home, it's so much more playful, and so far it's been a lot more fun. I loved it.
And it just like, they were one-upping each other. I loved what Mayhem was wearing. Yeah. I love a head-to-toe purple velvet.
Who doesn't? Yzma.
I watched it again. I was like, that Ginger's looks, and especially the song was just hilarious. I'd never heard it.
So good.
And at the end, when Mayhem had her shoe, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's in your hand.
Yeah, I think that's mostly the stuff. There's a game within a game. Scarlett's gonna be playing. He was particularly Trady leaving. Very Prince Adam.
Look, everyone keeps talking about Trinity being the trade. I'm not going to fight you on it. I'm not going to argue. But, like, Scarlet is the hottest one of them, in my opinion.
Okay, cool. Well, if you enjoyed that, you can head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/soimwatchingtheshow, and you can follow along with us as we watch season 7 of Drag Race.
Yep.
And then there's also a lot of other goodies there if you like listening to us talk about other stuff. Riverdale or The Magicians or
The Boys, 911.
Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
American Horror Story, we got a lot.
Yep.
So also soimwatching.com.
Yep.